Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our session on strategy delivery, rigor versus agility. Do we need both? So, what's the agenda? Um, this is what we're going to cover. So, as my initial introduction and preamble, very short, very sweet. David Booth, DB, is going to give us the strategy perspective of this session, and then we'll reflect on how the ISP's body knowledge connects with and makes sense with the BIG's body knowledge. Uh, David Worsley, DW, well, is kindly then going to present to us a rather sophisticated strategy scenario based on the rail industry and his experience of it. So that's going to be interesting because we can draw all kinds of points out of that for the relevance of big to that scenario. So that should be interesting. We'll do a brief wrap up and overflow questions after that. The scenario discussion, it will be pretty much open forum. So as long as we're polite to each other, we should be able to get through that with everyone being able to contribute and ask questions and say what they think. Uh, so I think that's it. I think that's where we are. So just in brief introductions. I'm not going to go into detail, but if you want to find out about who we are, you can look us up on LinkedIn. This content's in the slide, and I'm sure I've shared links to who we are in preamble. So I'm David. I'm not going to say much, but David Booth. I'm not sure if many of the audience have met you before. So if you'd like to say a few words about yourself and your background, please be my guest to do that now.
Uh, Briefly to add to that, I've been helping organizations with their strategy work for about 25 years. Uh, and before that, I had senior management positions in United Biscuits, Grand Met, and Smith& Nephew. So I've been, if you like, both sides of the client and consultant type fence as well. But I don't like the term consultant. It's I work with organisations to help them and facilitate things rather than extract and deliver promises.
Must mention that David has been my introduction to the International Association for Strategy Professionals, and we're kind of running this event as a joint event today between the big CIC and the ISP, and we'll provide links to ISP contact details and contents at the back end of the session. Um, but our next guest presenter, um, David Worsley, DW. David, would you like to say a few words about yourself?
Yes, I've now spent 23 years in the railway industry, and I think about 14 of them I've been in strategy type jobs. Currently in transport for the North, looking up to 30 years ahead in our planning, which seems increasingly difficult but interesting task. And I've had the pleasure of teaching some of the tools I use at Newcastle and Leeds universities as well.
But David has very kindly agreed to talk about the rail scenario through rail track, Network Rail, and the future Great British Rail to give us something to talk around. And I think that will stimulate some real good discussion. So thanks, David, for putting that together.